What's up, my friends? It's C-Threep, and I'm back with a video. Today we're going to talk about just my thoughts in general on cheap recording equipment. I'm talking $20 microphones on Amazon, $60 headphones on Amazon, and just in general spending like the minimum amount of money possible to try to make your music. The reason I'm talking about this is because, well, a couple of things. Most of all, my channel focuses on really just working with whatever you got and making music with that. And also because I've been accused of misleading people in the past. Not like a prominent thing on the comments of my videos, but it's a hot debate out there of people arguing over gear and how much money you should spend on stuff, and don't use that because it sucks. End result, let's not lose sight of what we're going for here. The end result that we want when we record our music is for a song to sound good, for that WAV file or that MP3 file that you upload to SoundCloud or Bandcamp or YouTube to sound good. 99% of the people that are going to listen to your music have no idea how to record or anything like that. They don't know the difference between microphones. They don't know any of that stuff. They don't care. They don't think about it. They just want to listen to a song that sonically has good frequencies in there, that is a good sounding song. It's not so much the gear that you're using, it's the work that you put into getting whatever gear you have to sound good. Now, I'm not making the argument at all that therefore just buy the cheap crap and never bother upgrading to the good stuff. Okay, there is a valid reason why you would want to spend $500 on a microphone. This is a rather expensive microphone, about $500 or so, or $3,000 plus if you're looking at the Neumann what is it called? Neumann U87. I am not making the argument that the cheap stuff is better than the expensive stuff. Absolutely not. I would love to have a bunch of really expensive equipment. Overall, out of the gates, it can tend to just sound better. It can make workflow easier. You're going to spend less time trying to fix, and mask issues that are created by cheap equipment, cheap microphones, cheap guitars, cheap amps. The cheap stuff can make things be a little bit more time consuming and overall just not sound good, and in a lot of cases sound a whole lot worse. Okay, I get that, but there is a reason for the inexpensive stuff. The $20 microphone, there's no shame in going on Amazon and buying a $20 microphone that plugs into your computer if you want to record music. Let's picture a scenario. This is a scenario that's common for just about everyone that likes to make music. When you start playing guitar, or you play your drums, or you play the piano, or you sing, and you get together with your buddies and you start making music, that is a euphoric feeling to create music, and it's such a joy, and it's so much fun to just be creative and do something other than play video games. It just taps into this like sweet spot in the brain when you're making music. But what if you were an unfortunate soul and you were under the impression that the only way you could turn that music into a recording and share it with other people is if you spent $2,000 or $3,000 on the necessary equipment? Well, that's unfortunate because you're going to be missing out on a whole lot of fun. Instead of going and spending $20 on a microphone and $60 on some headphones, these are pretty awesome headphones for $60. You could just give up and say, okay, well, obviously I can't record music. I don't have $3,000. I'm a busy college student. It's not for me. Fine, I'll just keep making music and no one will ever hear it. Okay, that's why cheap gear exists. That's why you can spend $50 on a piece of crap guitar. Because if the barrier to entry for all of this stuff was thousands and thousands of dollars, nobody would ever do it, because everybody had to start somewhere. Your favorite bands, your favorite artists, your favorite music producers that work with your favorite bands, they had to start in the same position you are. They had to start somewhere. They had to start with the cheap crap, and they got good with it. They upgraded. They moved on with their life. Maybe they had some lucky situation where their Uncle Jimmy has a recording studio so they can go practice there on some really good stuff. But for the most part, people are starting on the cheap stuff, whatever they can get their hands on. Because if you had to spend a minimum of $4,000 on a microphone and an audio interface, and $10,000 on an acoustically treated, scientifically treated room that's perfect for recording in, and another $4,000 on studio monitors, that's like $18,000 of a barrier to just start making music. Whereas if you're just writing some songs and having a good time with it, forget that. Spend, $20 on a microphone and just start recording your music. That's the whole point. This is the point of these cheap pieces of junk, is so that you can just start recording and start having fun with it. And you're gonna learn. You get the cheap stuff, you learn how to make good sounding music with the cheap stuff, and then you upgrade, and then it's suddenly like way easier than it would have been if you had just bought the expensive stuff from the get-go and expected that to make it sound good. Blue Yeti mic back there was like my first microphone 7 or 8 years ago, whenever that was. And that was my primary microphone. And I started getting better and better and better with it. And I compare the most recent recordings of that to my very first recordings of that. And it's the same microphone, but they sound phenomenally better because I just got better at knowing where to put the microphone, and better at mixing and understanding what sounds bad and what sounds good as far as like frequencies and things like that. The point I'm making is you have to work at it, whether it's cheap or expensive. You still have to work at it. I can make a better sounding song in 6 hours, recording a song with one really cheap microphone, which I've done on many occasions. That song would sound 1,000 times better than someone who has never recorded anything at all, has no idea about where to put a microphone, plug something in, how to mix. None of that knowledge. If they were to step into the most slick and expensive studio on the planet and have 3 weeks to record their song, my cheap song in 6 hours would sound 1,000 times better than that. And that is not me trying to brag and say, come at me, bro, I can totally take you on in a song recording challenge. I'm saying that experience and trial and error does so much more for making your recordings and mixes sound better than just expensive equipment. If you make music and you want to make music, recording is a really fun aspect of that, and the barrier to entry is 20, 30, 40, $100, and you can start recording some stuff and having fun with it. Down the line, upgrade your stuff to better equipment. That's a completely reasonable thing to do, and you should do that. Just, if you got $200 to spare per year for this kind of stuff, that's plenty. They'll be good to go. If you want to listen to a song or two that I recorded with these really cheap microphones, you can go ahead and check those out. Subscribe if you have not. And if you don't want to subscribe, then don't. And that's it. Bye.